कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। Hare Krishna everyone, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for joining. Shall we start, Mataji, or we'll wait? Okay, we'll start. I'll share the screen. Hare Krishna everyone, Dandavat Pranam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narayanam Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayashu Patreshu Nityam Bhagavata Seva Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhakti Nashtake Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we'll be starting with this verse today, and this is basically verse number 20. Yeah. So this is the verse number 20, full surrender. So, and this is from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is verse number 37. I just pray that whatever I say is in the parampara and it pleases all the devotees. Okay. Yes. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, please. So we'll start with the verse first, and then we'll continue with the reading. Yes, so this is the verse number 37. Apiyadyanas. Mataji, would you like to recite the verse? Did you raise the hand for that?
Shobha Mataji has raised first. Let her read, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'll read the
Okay,
Kunti.
sure, Mataji.
Mataji.
Yes,
Hari Bol.
sure, Mataji.
Okay,
Thank
I'll
you.
pick up the shloka.
Yes, Mataji,
Okay,
please.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate
Hare
Vasudevaya. Apyadyanastvam swakrite hita prabho. Jihasasi swit suhrido anujivinah. Yesham na chanyad bhavata padambujat. Parayanam rajasuyojitam hasam. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Bol.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Shobha
Mataji.
Mataji, carry on.
Yes, please, Mataji.
Hare
For the
Krishna, Dandavat
translation.
Pranam Mataji. Jagadguru
Done.
Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Oh my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. Are you leaving us today? Though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us, now when all kings are at enemy with us. Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Bol, Mataji. Please continue, Mataji, with the purport. We'll read this first paragraph. First, just a minute, Mataji. We'll go back into
Yes.
this thing only. Yes, please.
Should we start with Kunti Mata,
Yes,
Shruti
please.
Mata?
Yes,
Can I
Mataji. That is
open
the
it
one.
in my...
Yes, please, Mataji. This is
Okay,
the
full
one.
surrender. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Api adyanastvam swakrite
We did this, Mataji. We read the verse, Mataji. The verse is done.
Okay.
Please start with the
I will
paragraph,
start with
Mataji.
the... Okay. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Pandavas are most fortunate because with all good luck, they were entirely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. In the material world, to be dependent on the mercy of someone else is the utmost sign of misfortune. But in the case of a transcendental relation with the Lord, it is the most fortunate case when we can live completely depend on Him. The material disease is due to thinking of becoming independent of everything, but the cruel material nature does not allow us to become independent. The false attempt to become independent of the stringent law of nature is known as material advancement of experimental knowledge. The whole material world is moving on this false attempt to becoming independent of the laws of nature. Becoming from Beginning from Ravana, who wanted to prepare a direct staircase to the planets of heaven, thus down to the present age, they are trying to overcome the laws of nature. They are trying now to approach distant planetary systems by electronic mechanical power. But the highest goal of human civilization is to work hard under the guidance of the Lord and become completely dependent on Him. The highest achievement of perfect civilization is to work with valor, but at the same time depend completely on the Lord. The Pandavas were the ideal executors of this standard of civilization. Undoubtedly, they were completely dependent on the goodwill of Lord Sri Krishna. But they were not ideal parasites of the Lord. They were all highly qualified both by personal character and by physical activities. Still, they always looked for the mercy of the Lord because they knew that every living being is dependent by constitutional position. The perfection of life is, therefore, to become dependent on the will of the Lord. Instead of becoming falsely independent in the material world, those who try to become falsely independent of the Lord are called anatha or without any guardian. Whereas those who are completely dependent on the will of the Lord are called sanatha or those having someone to protect them. Therefore, we must try to be sanatha so that we can always be protected by the unfavorable condition of material existence. By the deluding power of the external material nature, we forget that the material condition of the life is the most undesirable perplexity. The Bhagavad Gita, Shloka 7.19, therefore directs us that many births, one fortunate person after many births, one fortunate person becomes aware of the fact that Vasudeva Krishna is all in all and that the best way of leading one's life is to surrender unto him completely. That is the sign of a Mahatma. All the members of the Pandavas family were Mahatmas in household life. Maharaja Yudhishthira was the head of these Mahatmas. And Queen, Queen Kunti Devi was the mother. The lesson of the Bhagavad Gita and all the Puranas, specifically the Bhagavata Purana, are therefore inevitably connected with the history of the Pandava Mahatmas. For them, separation from the Lord was just like the separation of a fish from water. Srimati Kunti Devi therefore felt such separation like a thunderbolt, and the whole prayer of the queen is to try to persuade the Lord to stay with them after battle of Kurukshetra. Although the inimical kings were killed, their sons and grandsons were still there to deal with the Pandavas. It is not only the Pandavas who were put into the condition of enmity. All of us are always in such a condition, and the best way of living is to become completely dependent on the will of the Lord and thereby overcome all difficulties of material existence. Hare Krishna Mataji, can someone continue? You get a chance. Thank you, Mataji. Hari Bol Dandavats.
Yeah, may I continue?
No, Mataji, thank you so much, Mataji. I think this is a long paragraph. No, we'll be able to cover this much, I feel. We'll take it up once based on the timing, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Okay. What do we see till now from Srimati Kunti Maharani's prayers that Srimati Kunti Maharani, she is praying to the Lord and she had offered her obeisances. She has also uh, honored the Lord with so many beautiful prayers. And now it is like now the Lord is leaving. He's about to leave, and that is when when Kunti Maharani prays so intensely, because she is like, she says, Kunti Mata, she says that you have already executed all duties yourself. Are you leaving us today? And though we are completely dependent on your mercy, we have no one else to protect us now when all the kings are at enmity with us. So, okay, we have noticed in our day-to-day life also, right? If somebody helps us or if somebody visits our place, what do? We always try to say, okay, please stay for some time, right? So, but what kind of plead, what kind of request are we seeing here? There is a major difference because these are intense feelings of separation and there is no flattery because Kunti Maharani knows that Lord is the supreme personality of Godhead. And so she is like, she doesn't want to leave the association of the Lord. And we have also noticed, as it is mentioned in this verse, right, that Bahunam Janmanamante Gyanvan Mam Prapadyate Vasudevah Sarvam Iti Samahatma Sudurlabha. So what do we see here? That after many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me. So this verse basically talks about the complete surrender of a pure devotee, complete, dependence only upon the Lord, because she knows that Lord is Sarva Karan Karana. So the cause of all the causes and all that is. And so in one sense, Mata Kunti, she's a Mahatma, and just like all the Pandavas. Now, uh, not only that, what do we notice here? We notice here that in the material world, what happens, I mean, when we talk about the dependence, so we have different relations, right? And with respect to all the relations, we feel that yes, we will be able to save the other person, right? That is what means, that is what is the meaning of the protection and the dependence, right? If I am depending on someone, it means that I am assured that in case if anything can happen to me, whatever calamities or sufferings I would be having, that particular person will be able to help me with that suffering, right? Are we on the same lines? Do we understand that this is what is these are the feelings that we get, right? Within our relations, right? So what happens, even though we do all the planning, we ensure that all our relations are cordial, still what happens, whatever is not in our hand, that or ultimately it happens, like for example, there is a very beautiful analogy that it comes in Srimad Bhagavatam that if a doctor is there, you know if a doctor can really treat each and every single patient, is it possible that the doctor can really treat each and every single patient and every case of the doctor is successful? Have we really heard about it?
No,
No,
Mataji, not possible.
No, no.
Mataji.
Yeah, no. So there are two instances now. For example, in cases, for example, there is a person who is suffering, the patient, and we are providing the best doctor and the best advanced treatment. So there are chances, like the probability whether the patient will die or whether the operation would be successful, right? And even in such cases, even in a few cases, it is seen that without even providing without even providing any basic treatment also, the patient is cured astonishingly. So what does this mean? Who is really working in this particular I mean incident, like in this particular case or a situation, what is happening? It is purely happening because of the sanction of the Lord. It is the mercy of the Lord. So Kala, eternal time, just like eternal time, the situations, they are not in our control. Everything happens by the supreme will of the Lord. We cannot control each and every single thing. And that is what has been highlighted here. See, like Ravana, everyone what they want to do. Okay, and what is mentioned here, that beginning from Ravana, they wanted to prepare a direct staircase, no, to the planets of heaven. Now, when we understand that Ravana wanted to do this, why he wanted this? So that he can just travel whenever he wishes to go there and he can come back. So basically, what does this mean? That he wanted to have the complete independence. He wanted to control each and every single thing. That is what even the scientists are trying to do these days. What are they trying to do? They want to ensure that the body may continue, they use different things, with respect to their experiments. They are trying to come out with different things that could really help with the aging, that could reduce the aging. So it's very difficult. I mean, because they don't understand that there is the supreme will, there is a supreme power which is ultimately working. Everything is under the control of Lord Shri Krishna. Even Kala, we are in the jaws of the serpent. Uh, uh, and this particular serpent is Cobra. It's just like the Cobra snake, and that is eternal time Kala. So when Vidura, Mahatma Vidura, he went to Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra, what was he doing? He was staying in the royal palace with Yudhishthira and all the Pandavas. He went there, and he chastised him. He said, "What are you doing? You are just living like a household dog, and you are just taking food from Bhima." And when, how, just, he wanted him to really attain that self-realization. Because as a brother, he was really concerned about him. And when Dhritarashtra realized this, he left the palace. He went into the forest, and there he did meditation. So what do we understand? That until and unless a person is really, uh, gets the association of a pure devotee, it is very difficult to understand by oneself that how can a person get rid of this materialistic existence, of this entanglement of birth and death. So this is what we understand. And when we talk about the Pandavas and Mata Kunti, just feel the separation which Mata Kunti is having when there had been so much of calamity, there had been so much of suffering in her life. And the Pandavas, they have undergone so many sufferings when they were young also, and when they were in the jungle, when they were in the exile in the forest. But when the Lord was departing, they were like, they were shattered. There are different, when Arjuna was really grieving, when the Lord had descended, and when he was grieving, he was literally saying that he has become powerless now because Lord is gone. And he was actually recalling all the blessings which have been empowered onto them by the Lord himself, like how the Lord had saved them from all the atrocities, like how the Lord was basically his Sakha. Being a Sakha, the Lord protected him. What kind of fraternal friendship the Lord had with Arjuna, wherein he agreed to become a charioteer so that he can save him from all the risks of the war. And he was protecting him. The Lord was protecting Arjuna. Not only that, the Lord always wanted him to be tied in a family relationship. So what did the Lord do? The Lord got him married to Subhadra, isn't it? Mata Subhadra. And after that, also, before departing, the Lord wanted to ensure that all the Pandavas should rule the world, So he established their kingdom. He established their rule because they were Raj Rishis. So he was trying to remember all these beautiful, beautiful, pastimes and all the protection that was given by the Lord. So this is what is, these are the, the feelings of separation which they are feeling now. The Mata Kunti and Pandavas, they feel. And now just imagine when the Lord is, when the Pandavas or the pure devotees are like, what would be the reaction of the Lord himself? Because the Lord also always reciprocates, right? So how did the Lord reciprocate? The Lord was also deeply attracted to them, isn't it? So he was also attracted. He was also in continuous, constant association with them. How did the Lord reciprocate? Even though Yudhishthir Maharaj was, he was a king, and Lord was the supreme personality of Godhead, still the Lord used to offer obeisances. The Lord agreed to become a chariot driver because he's Bhakta Vatsala. So this only happens when there is complete surrender. Then only a person can have the complete protection of the Lord, because the Lord always protects his devotees based on the degree, based on the degree of surrender. So this is what we understand from this. And the reason being, Mata Kunti, she is considered, that she is a Mahatma because she was in such family relationships with the Lord, but still she requested that she wanted to sever all the ties of affection. Why? She requests that also. Why? Because she wants to have only, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, we say, no, that she wanted to have only one pointed attention. Fully, she wanted to meditate completely only on the Lord. So this is what we understand. So this particular verse is this entire chapter, this is from this particular verse, the complete surrender and the dependence upon the Lord. These feelings start. There are feelings of separations which are identified also with respect to the queens of Dwarka. So the Lord married, how many wives did the Lord marry when he was in Dwarka? Yes, please. Do you remember?
16,000 wives.
16,108. Hare Krishna.
Hari bol, yes, Mataji, thank you. So the Lord married 16,108 wives. Now, when the Lord used to be there, it's mentioned that how there is a chance, there were chances of separation between the queens of Dwarka and the Lord himself. So what used to happen, when the Lord used to go to the assembly hall, when the Lord was not there at home, they used to feel, pain, feel pain of separation to the queens of Dwarka. But when the Lord departed, there was feeling of separation with respect to the earth also. Even the Mother Earth felt that separation. But the separation which the Mother Earth felt was more intense than the queens of Dwarka. So, what do you feel? What could be the reason? Why Mother Earth felt more separation or more acute pain when the Lord descended, and it was more than the queens of Dwarka? Anything, please share your views. It's okay. Yeah, it's an open forum.
Lord was in constant association with Mother Earth because he was watching.
Hari bol, yes, Mataji. Because see, the Lord was in constant association. The Lord was always constantly traversing the grounds, the surface of the Mother Earth with his lotus feet. Isn't it such a beautiful thing? So she had so much of more intense pain or feelings of separation than the queens of Dwarka because of this reason. So this is, and not only that, it's mentioned here, right? The lotus feet of the Lord. So why do we say the Lord has lotus feet? So you know what happens when the Lord is in Goloka. Goloka is the eternal abode of the Lord. So when the Lord is in the Goloka or in the eternal abode, then the entire Goloka is in the shape of a big bowl of a lotus flower. And so when the Lord descends to the material world, to any of the mundane worlds, then whenever he descends, the Lord manifests his entire Goloka along with him. So this entire, when the Goloka is getting manifested, this means that the big bowl of the lotus flower will also manifest. So in a way, the Lord is always on the standing, or the Lord is always on that bowl of lotus flower. And since the lotus flower is very beautiful, the Lord's feet are compared to the lotus flower. And so it is mentioned that they are very beautiful, and hence Lord Shri Krishna has lotus feet because they're always on the whole of the lotus flower. So the Lord has lotus feet. So this is what we understand. And yeah, so what do we understand? Like when the Pandavas feeling the pains of separation, when the Lord descended, there were so many various symptoms that were, that were identified. They are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. And when Parikshit Maharaj used to, when Parikshit Maharaj used to inspect or used to travel within the city, and when what did he hear actually from various citizens or wherever he went? He only heard about how Pandavas were in, he always heard about the glories of the Lord Krishna and the Pandavas. So Pandavas were his grandparents. So whenever he heard the glories of the Pandavas, he heard how deeply they were in love and, deeply in gratitude and devotional service basically for the Lord. And similarly, even the Lord was also reciprocating in the same way. So this is what we understand. So this basically talks about the complete dependence of the Lord, and how it is mentioned, that those who try to become falsely independent of the Lord are called anath. But those who are really depending upon the will of the Lord, like whatever happens, why is it happening? It is happening only because of the will of the Lord. They are called sanat because we are under the protection of the Lord. So, there are a few good qualities of a devotee. What are the good qualities of the devotee? The devotee is, when this incident, this pastime happened, when this pastime of Parikshit Maharaj also happened, when this Shringi, he cursed Maharaj Parikshit, it was because of his inexperience. He was out of pride, basically. He was a Brahmana, but he misused his Brahminical power. And not only that, because of his misuse of Brahminical power, he allowed the Kali to enter into allowed Kali to enter. And that was the beginning of the Kali Yuga. So that is what happened when he cursed. And Maharaj Parikshit, he is a pure devotee of the Lord. He could have retaliated, he could have counteracted the curse. He did not do that. Why? Because when Shamik Rishi, okay, Shringi is the son of Shamik Rishi. And Shamik Rishi was basically the context is Shamik Rishi was meditating, and Parikshit Maharaj felt very thirsty. So now, what do you feel like? Maharaj Parikshit, who is a pure devotee of the Lord, who has been hearing Shravanam, who has been hearing Srimad Bhagavatam for continuous 7 days, 7 nights, without having a single drop of water. I mean, can he really feel so much thirsty that he could have performed such a, I mean, mistake?
No, Mataji.
Ye- No. Yes, please. Yeah, please, Mataji.
It's because of the Kali Prabhavam. Kali's.
Mm,
It is
right,
God's,
because of
Mataji.
the
God's
will of
will.
the Lord,
God's
Mataji.
will.
Haripol. Yes, Mataji is right. So it is because of the desire of the Lord. Because he went to the forest, he was chasing the stags, and suddenly he felt very fatigued. How is it possible? He's a Goswami. They are like all the bodily demands are like under in their control. They cannot feel such kind of bodily urges also, right? But why did it happen? Because he was being influenced. It was the desire of the Lord through Kali. So that is what happened. And when Shringi, who is the son of Shamik Rishi, when he cursed him, the devotee, being a pure devotee, he did not retaliate because when he received this news, he received it with so much of regret by the rishi. He didn't want to shame him further, so he did not go there in front of him to be personally present, and he accepted it as the will of the Lord. So that is considering that this is the desire of the Lord, because anyways the Srimad Bhagavatam also had to be, had to appear, that we understand. But these are the qualities of a pure devotee. They do not blame the miscreants, but they accept, they tolerate the sufferings. But when they tolerate the sufferings, they have so much of determination, so much of faith, full faith in complete surrender in the Lord, that they understand that all the reactions which they are getting, they will completely vanish, they will be vanquished by the pure devotional service to the Lord. And therefore they silently, they just accept it and they tolerate. Plus they also understand that whatever they are getting, it's being given in small doses to them, that something much worse could have happened, but that is the nature of a devotee. They never, they're very tolerant, they're very forbearing. So this is what is to be understood from this verse. Yeah, and so Srimati Kunti Devi, how did she feel the separation? The separation was like a thunderbolt. So, Srimad Bhagavatam talks about how Yudhishthir Maharaj really, he had shown the signs of, retiring. What are the various signs of renouncement when the Lord had departed? He did, what he did first and foremost thing? He realized, he understood that the Kali had arrived. So he started preparing himself. Then what did he do? He wanted to have responsible succession. So he appointed Vajra, who is the grandson of Lord Krishna. He appointed Vajra at Mathura, and he also made Maharaj Parikshit as the king. And then he externally renounced everything. So he externally renounced his dress, royal dresses, bells, all those things. And then he internally renounced himself by completely going into the meditation. After that, he went into complete detachment from everything. Even though the Pandavas were there, but he did not depend on Pandavas also. And that complete dependence upon the Lord actually shows the signs. This is the sign of fearlessness. So, that is what happened with Maharaj Yudhishthir, that he completely renounced everything. He was just acting, he stopped speaking, he stopped eating, he went silent, and he was only meditating, completely attached to the Lord. After that, what did he do? He walked towards the north direction, where usually he, following all the great souls, he walked towards the north direction, and then he was deeply, completely absorbed in the Lord. So that is the complete surrender or the absorption mood that is being talked about here. This is what we understand. Yeah, let's continue, Mataji. Please, yeah. Would someone like to continue, please? After the battle of Kurukshetra? Yes, please, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
After the battle of Kurukshetra ended and the Pandavas were established in their kingdom, Krishna, before going back home to Dwaraka, was taking leave of his aunt and bidding her farewell. It was at that time that Kunti offered this prayer. Now she directly asks, is it a fact that after finishing your duty, you are going away and leaving us alone? This is the devotee's position. Kunti Devi says, Yesham na chanyat bhavata padambujat. We have no means of protection other than your lotus feet. This is full surrender. Should I continue, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, just one
Yeah.
paragraph.
In the process of surrender, that is Sharanagati, there are 6 items. The first is that one should completely depend on Krishna. And the next is that one should accept everything favorable for Krishna's service. Anukulyasya sankalpaha. Anukulyena Krishnana Shilanam Bhakti Uttama. A symptom of first class bhakti, devotional service, is that one accepts everything favorable for that service. Another item of surrender is pratikulyasya varjanam, rejecting everything unfavorable to the procedures of Krishna consciousness. Sometimes the spiritual master says, don't do this, forbidding something unfavorable. And he also recommends that which is favorable. Do this, chant Hare Krishna. Full surrender, therefore, entails giving up unfavorable things and accepting that which is favorable. Anukulyasya sankalpa, pratikulyasya varjanam. Furthermore, one should believe with full faith. Krishna will give me protection, and one should count oneself as one of the servants of Krishna. These are some of the items of Sharanagati, full surrender. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, so after the battle of Kurukshetra ended, the Pandavas, yes, so we just discussed, no, how the Lord wanted to establish all the Pandavas in the kingdom, and he also got Arjuna married to Subhadra. So, these are the various ways wherein he was giving his divine protection. So this is his Sakhya Bhav, sometimes mixed with Maitrim, sometimes mixed with Vatsalya, Prema, Vatsalya for the Pandavas. So, okay, so I was just thinking, there were different pastimes wherein the Lord had helped. Like, for example, when we talk about Arjuna's marriage with Draupadi. So, do you remember this incident when Arjuna's marriage happened with Draupadi? There was a fish that had to be targeted, isn't it? And there were two it was the rotation was happening into two different concentric ways in opposite direction, and he had to pierce the eye. So this is one time when the Lord also helped him. So, he said, you just focus, and then the Lord made the water still, isn't it? With respect to this, so that
Yes,
he could
yes,
finally, yeah,
Mataji.
so that he could finally win. The second was, when Bhima had to defeat Jarasandh, right? Do you remember that incident? Anyone who would really like to share
Yes,
this?
yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
please, Mataji.
Krishna hints Bhima
Hmm.
to break his Jarasandha's body and put it in the opposite direction. I mean, even
Right, right, yeah.
it should not
Hmm.
get along again. So
Right. And
Krishna
just
hints.
partition, I mean, just divided into two, split it into two from the thighs or that ways, and he showed, he just did a indication by
Straw.
using by using the leaf, isn't it? So that is
Yes.
also when this happened. And the other one, when Draupadi, when there was a rishi who had been the Durvasa Muni, right? So when he went to the forest and Draupadi, she prayed, I mean, she remembered the Lord, and the Lord suddenly appeared. He understands all his pure devotees' requests, He appeared there. What happened then? Yes, please. Do you remember when he wanted to save them from?
Draupadi was supposed to serve the
Hmm.
Durvas Muni and his disciples, thousands of disciples, and the Akshaya Patra was cleaned already. That means that day's meal is over. Then
Right.
Krishna appears and helps them out by eating
Yes.
one grain of food
Rice.
from the rice from Draupadi.
Yeah.
Everybody were satisfied.
Right. Yes,
But
Mataji. Thank you
Mataji,
for sharing that. Yes, please, Mataji.
but she could do it only before eating. But by the
Hari
time they
bol.
all went,
Yes,
she had
yes.
already eaten. So that's why she
Hmm.
called Krishna for help. So he said, if you have 1 grain of rice, and then he ate it.
Just him.
Yeah, and then they all felt full.
Yes, true, Mataji. So nice. And once he also tried to, Arjuna, he wanted to save King Virat's cows. So he had to move from the entire assembly of the Kauravas, just to save the cows. So that also happened because that is by the mercy of the Lord that Arjuna is so powerful. So now, since we are discussing this, there is one more incident, pastime that happened when this. The demigods daughters, the demigods daughters, sorry, something happened on the screen. Is everyone able to view the screen? Is it visible? Is it visible now?
Vedavis is visible,
Yes,
Mataji.
yes, yes, Mataji.
Yes, okay. So
Yeah.
Mataji's, what happened, these demigods daughters, so they prayed to Ashtavakra Muni once, and they prayed to Ashtavakra Muni to get Lord Shri Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, as their husband. And so he was happy, and then he blessed them, but then what happened? Since Ashtavakra, this means that Ashta is 8, Vakra is curved. So when he used to move, there were certain curved movements for the Muni. So that
8
is
curves,
why
no, Mataji?
for Ashtavakra Muni, yes. And so,
Yeah.
and they laughed, these the daughters of the demigods, they laughed, and so he cursed them. What did he say? He said, even though you will attain the Lord as your husband, you will be kidnapped by rogues. So again, they felt very bad about it. They were very sad, and they pleaded, and they again, they offered some prayers to Ashtavakra Muni. Then he felt happy, and then again he blessed them. Then he said, okay, even though you will be kidnapped by the rogues, you will again still regain your husbands. Still you will regain your Lord as your husband. So, do you remember the pastime? There was a pastime in Srimad Bhagavatam wherein when Arjuna was supposed to bring all the queens back from Dwarka, some rogues, they kidnapped them, and Arjuna was powerless. He was unable to save them. Actually, the reason was the Lord wanted to ensure, he wanted to uphold the words of his pure devotees. He always does so. So he wanted to ensure that the words of Ashtavakra Muni doesn't fail. So that is the reason why this happened. But this was not because of Arjuna's fear, no, and or weakness. It did not happen because of that. And the rogues also who appeared, they were Lord Krishna himself. He manifested himself, and that is the way this incident happened, because he wanted to keep the words of his devotees. At the same time, there is a very beautiful statement by Srila Prabhupada. It's mentioned in the purport that it doesn't mean that Arjuna was weak. No, he wasn't weak. So this is what we understand, how the Lord gives divine protection to everyone. Even in Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned, right, that the Lord asks Arjuna to declare. You declare, because it is like the Lord may fail onto his words, but he has to ensure that all the words of his pure devotees are, they are always, it's fulfilled. So that is the reason why this happens. So, yeah. So, so just imagine they are always in constant association with the Lord. So how is it possible for them to leave? That is why there are two beautiful analogies that are given, that Mata Kunti, she felt the separation like a thunderbolt. And plus, not only that, it was something like the fish, that fish, the fish which has been taken out from the water. So this is what we see here. So, yeah, in the process of surrender, when we talk about surrender, Sharanagati, there are 6 items. So, when we talk about surrender, the first one in itself is Anukulasya Sankalpaha. So, what we should do, we should always do what is favorable. So, okay, there are, I will first cover a little about the first 2 items, because we won't be able to complete all of them today. So, Anukulyena Krishnanu Bhaktiruttama. Like, what are the symptoms of a first class devotee? Anukulasya Sankalpaha is what they will accept everything which is favorable to the Lord. Only the things which are favorable to the Lord. And another item is pratikulasya varjanam. They will reject everything unfavorable to the process of Krishna consciousness. So I will show you two photographs now, two pictures I have. I thought of putting it here just to show this to everyone as an example for this, Yeah. And true, you identify. Yes. Just for everyone to identify. So there are two things. One is we say, okay, we will accept everything that is favorable. And that is, one is we will reject everything unfavorable. So this is Amrish Maharaj. Okay. And this is, yes, please.
Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad
Narasimha
Maharaj,
Prahlad
Hari
Maharaj.
Bol. Narasimhadev Prahlad Maharaj. So we are talking about two things. Anukulasya sankalpaha, pratikulasya varjanam. So what did Amrish Maharaj do? He accepted everything that was favorable to the Lord. Actually, both of them always accepted everything favorable to the Lord because both of them are the Uttam Adhikaris, no? Pure devotees. But with respect to
Yes.
the contest, just for a good understanding, I just tried of picking up these two pictures to showcase how Prahlad Maharaj, he rejected everything which was unfavorable to bhakti, to Lord Krishna's bhakti, isn't it?
Yes, Mataji.
Pratikulasya Varjanam. He rejected everything which is unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. And Amrish Maharaj always accepted everything which is favorable. He even agreed, he accepted. He was standing with folded hands when he was being cursed. He did not move from his place. He was, this entire pastime when it was happening, when Durvasa Muni was running from places to places, from different planets or to the different places. He went to Brahma, Lord Brahma, then to Lord Shiva, everywhere. Finally, he went to Lord Narayan also. Then ultimately he had to come back and he had to apologize because he had done Vaishnava aparadh. So the Amrish Maharaj, he always accepted whatever is favorable. And Prahlad Maharaj, as all of us we know, he always rejected which is unfavorable. It was told to him to just to glorify his, Hiranyakashipu as the supreme, but he never agreed to it. He rejected it, and so he was given so many sufferings, so many atrocities were there, no? But ultimately, this is full surrender. This is what we understand. Like when the Lord was in the Narsimha Dev avatar, Shri Narsimha Dev ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. So, what do we see in this? We see that he was in the Raudra Roop, right? But then when Prahlad Maharaj appears in front of the Lord, when he gets closer, how the Lord was feeling so happy. And yeah, I mean, that is what we have. So this helps us to understand, what is basically bhakti, what is pure devotional service. And this is which we have. And when we talk about the four regulative principles, and what do we accept? We accept chanting, we reject, we should not do meat eating, then intoxication, gambling, or any illicit relations. That is wrong. This is what has been identified. Like we have everything we should do what is favorable for the bhakti, and we should reject everything which is unfavorable. So, forbidden items we should not do. So this is full surrender. So when we talk about the full surrender, furthermore, one should believe with full faith. And the two examples that we saw just now, actually they were depicting full protection of the Lord, that full faith that Krishna will give me protection. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. So that can happen only when oneself is one of the servants of Krishna. So out of the six items, of Sharnagati, this is the first one. Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam. First and second. So, yeah, so these are the two important points I wanted to cover. And there are different examples from Chaitanya Charitamrita also, like there is an example when um, that incident happened, no? Uh, when Srila Harida, sorry, not Srila, at whose place did that happen? The kirtan used to happen at uh, Gadadhar Srivasa Deva. At I think it was Srivas, uh,
Okay.
his son only,
He was
who
Pandit.
died, and then Srivas Pandit's son only, who died when this
Yes.
kirtan was happening at home. Yes,
Yes,
so that was
Mataji.
full surrender, that they didn't want to disturb the kirtan that was going on at that particular time. And so these are a few examples of pure full surrender to the Lord. And when we say like this, we just quote it as examples. They are just such exalted personalities and representatives of the Lord and the manifestations of the Lord in many cases, and they who are empowered also. But it's, the realizations are yet to come. We have to realize it because there was one example that was given in one of the sessions recently that one Prabhuji mentioned that, or if it happens with us also, if we meet any small thing happens, a mishap happens, what do we remember? Suddenly, we remember only the relatives, right? Do we really remember the Lord at that point in time? Everyone would have faced certain things and different at different times. What is the first thing that we really, that strikes us? It's very difficult to be in complete, remembrance of the Lord. And we want to have that constant remembrance of the Lord. That Ante Narayana Smriti, how will it come? Constant remembrance can come only when we are constantly in association of the Lord. That is why we are having these Krishna Kathas. We are starting our day with Mangal Aarti. Even we, or I would say like about myself, I cannot say that I am a devotee because the devotee in itself is a very major word, heavy word. But when we say that we are trying to be a devotee, or I am trying to be a devotee, this means we are trying to follow the rules and regulations which are given to us by our acharyas. We are just trying to be that. So when we are able to do it and achieve that particular uh, position, when the Lord will really, when we have, purified ourselves from the contamination, when we would have removed all the contamination, then only it is possible that the Lord would be able to, we could invite the Lord and he could reside in our heart constantly. So that is yet to achieve, so, and this is, it is only possible by the mercy of all the devotees, Vaishnavas, and by serving them there, by serving the lotus feet, their lotus feet of the Lord, and the Vaishnavas and the Acharyas. Otherwise it is not possible. And when we say that, when we wish to serve the Vaishnavas, what do we mean? Yes, please. We can have different. Please share your views. When we say we wish to serve the acharyas, we have to serve the Vaishnavas. That is only possible. So that is the only way we can get the mercy, right? Otherwise, how is it possible? It's not possible. Mahat Seva, and yeah, so it starts with that. So what do you feel when we say we have to serve the Vaishnavas? How do we serve the Vaishnavas? Yes, please. Please feel free to share your views. Okay, so what did you prepare as the bhoga offering today? What did we do today? We would have prepared different things, right? Isn't it? So
Yes.
few of you, yes. So what are we trying to do? We are trying to prepare bhoga and offering to the Lord. Why? Because we have been told earlier, we did not know. I did not know, at least, So now we know that we have to prepare bhoga, we have to offer it to the Lord, we have to, honor the remnants, we have to honor the prasadam. So earlier we did not know. How did we get to know? Only by the instructions of the Guru. So when we say we are serving the Vaishnavas, what are we doing? We are serving the instructions of the Guru, isn't it? So that is the
Right.
only way, because there are two different ways, Vapu Seva and Vani Seva. So Vapu Seva is, it's difficult to have for everyone. So, like physically serving the gurus, bona fide spiritual masters. But Vani Seva, every time, anytime, anyone can follow it. When we are doing the chanting, why are we doing the chanting? Because it is told to us. We are following it because Srila Prabhupada has told us to do. Our Guru Maharaj has told us to do. So we are following that. We are chanting minimum 16 rounds. Why? Because these are the instructions which are given to us, and we all of us are in Vedi sadhana bhakti right now. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be saying this. Like, at least I am performing Vedi sadhana bhakti. So yeah, so these are the various ways, you know. So somebody might be good in, they have different skills, and they are really trying to utilize those skills in the service of the Lord. Like Mataji, Lalita Vinodini Mataji, she is such an excellent reciter. Yeah, and Mataji, she is excellent in reciting the verses as well as in the bhajans, you know. So there are people are learning bhajans. What is happening then? They're going at home and in their altar, they are performing bhajans and kirtans for the Lord's pleasure. So the Lord is becoming happy, you know. We are trying to please the Lord. So what are we doing? Again, we are serving the Vaishnavas. How are we learning the bhajans, kirtans? Which are the bhajans and kirtans we are referring to? Only the ones which are given to us by our acharyas, because they are self-realized souls. They understand what is the, you know, mood, and what exactly with what mood they are connecting with the Lord, and what are the Lord's, you know, desires. They are the only people who can understand that. And we are just trying to be Rupanugas, isn't it? We are trying to be the followers of Srila Rupa Goswami. So yeah, with this we'll end this. So we are just trying for this different regulative principles following, so that one day we'll be able to have the complete dependence upon the Lord. That fearlessness has to come, you know, which is still there. You know, that is really required. Yes. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhesya kripa sindhubhya yujya patitanam pavabhyo vaishnavabhyo namo अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गुरु महाराज की जय, श्री निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल.
Hare Bol.
Thank you
Thank you,
everyone. Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Tanvi
Please
Pranam,
feel free
Mataji.
to share your reflections, corrections, and any review comments or anything we would wish to cover. You are most welcome. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
please.
Mataji. Tanvi Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. If we don't have any questions, shall we exit? I mean, shall I just end the session? Okay. Thank you everyone. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Tanvi Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.